Heard you cooking Catholics, man.
Yo, G1,
I
G1,
have been
come
actually.
up.
I've been belting Catholics, bro.
Yo, G1,
You-
come up, bro. How does it feel
You
to
know
lose?
what I've been belting Catholics on?
Saint, I gave you permission to ban Catholics, but not Orthodox.
Yo! Hey, G1, how
J1,
does
I
it
have
feel
a
to
question
lose?
for you. J1, I have a question for you.
No, what's the question?
It's gonna be a great question. This is actually going to be great. You believe in transubstantiation, right?
No, but I'll take the position for today.
Wait, what? You're Catholic, right?
No, I'm not a Catholic, but I'll take the position today. What about
He's a dirty Pentecostal.
Yeah, what about
They speak in alien languages.
Yeah, never mind. I wanted a Catholic, bro. You're not a Catholic. I don't want you to take the position.
But G1, how did it feel to lose?
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't lose, but okay. But what argument was you gonna give?
This guy still
regarding
think he didn't
trans,
concede.
Yo, G1, I got a question.
the video was gonna get posted to be ruined. So what's
Oh,
the
dude,
question?
yeah,
like,
that's
maybe-
not good news for you, bro.
What do you say?
That's very bad news.
That's like good news for you, I can't lie.
That is not
G1,
good news for you.
You're
bro,
actually the
but-
funniest. You're actually one of the funniest guys on the app,
But
bro.
I'm trying to hear.
You're
What's the question?
borderline
What's the question?
subhuman, bro. This guy
I can
Obviously,
only
you
pose the
just
question to
trolling.
Catholic because that's their problem.
Obviously, Yus is trolling G1. What's up with you?
Honestly, who is who?
Saint Yus, the one that asked you,
Yeah,
Jason,
bro.
he's trolling, bro.
You did not know I'm. Wait.
Trolling.
Q1.
Trolling about what? What do you mean? I know he's a Muslim, like,
How? Wait. How would you know?
because I've seen you debate and you was
Who have
taking
you
a
seen
Muslim
me debate?
position on a particular live, which was not this one, like what, a couple
Which
days
particular
ago.
live?
I don't remember. Like that's irrelevant. The whole point
G1,
is,
can you-
Yeah,
I've
these
seen
are
you
Jewish
debate
lies.
and he was a
Ban 'em,
Muslim.
ban 'em,
G1,
ban 'em.
G1.
Jewish lies.
But
Oh my god, I wish I had the mute button. Listen, G1, explain to us. Yo, G1, can you explain to us how your like your answer to Michael's argument?
Actually, I just want to.
it's
G1, can you tell us?
it's in the
Can you
video.
tell us why you said your God is contingent?
Never said my God is contingent, but okay.
That's entailed from what you said, right? Because if you're saying there's
You
something
doubt,
that's,
okay. So what's the argument for that?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Because if you said that, because you said that there's something contingent and intrinsic to God, which just entails, well, at least if you hold to ADS, right? Which is just says that everything intrinsic to God is identical to God. That just entails that God is identical to something contingent.
No, I didn't state that something within God is going to be contingent. I stated that the knowledge which he has. I stated that the knowledge which he has of contingent things is going to be within God.
No. I asked you whether it's intrinsic, and you said, yeah, it's intrinsic, and yeah, it's contingent.
When you said the knowledge that which God has is going to be of a contingent thing, and then you asked me, right, is that going to be intrinsic or extrinsic? Right, I said it's going to be intrinsic, and then you tried to infer based upon that, but there's going to be some.
Is everything intrinsic to him identical to him?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so if something's contingent and it's intrinsic to him, then what? What happens then?
It means that it is identical to him, but I don't believe there is going to be something which is contingent within him. Yeah, that doesn't. But I'm telling you, but I'm rejecting the premise. But I just told you, I reject the premise that there is going to be something contingent within him. Therefore, it's not going to be identical to him.
Buddy, you are the one that said
well.
that. But yeah, you're the one that
Did you
said
say
you
that
can have
to
something that's contingent that's intrinsic to him.
I never stated that, and I really qualified.
Yes, you
But
did.
I'm speaking about. No, I didn't. Right, when you made the point, right, about what's it called, contingency being intrinsic and extrinsic, I stated that when we're speaking about contingency, we're speaking about the thing which God knows. Right, we're not talking
None of
about
this
what's
helps you. I don't know why your monkey brain doesn't realize, right? Like you're
because
actually slow.
Yeah, because
Listen,
because my
You
mind
actually,
because
you
I'm
don't-
making
you
a
actually
distinction.
don't fucking get it, right? Look, it's simple. If you're
No,
saying,
no.
because you admitted this, you said, when I asked you, you said, yeah, you have something that's contingent in the lower world, and yes, it's intrinsic. And you realize that if something's intrinsic to God, according to your view, it's identical to him.
That's legit. Okay, that isn't.
It's all that fine. It's all that fine. You have an issue.
Well, there is an issue because that isn't what you argued, and that isn't what I affirmed. So it isn't going to be a concession.
The fuck
Right,
are
when
you
you
saying?
asked me, look,
You're not
I'm
saying
telling you what I'm
anything
saying. Like, the difference is that the point that you're trying to characterize is a point that I never affirmed. So it isn't going to be in a concession.
did.
You know what I mean?
We have
No,
you
I didn't.
clipped. Where are you lying?
Did I state that there's going to be a contingent property within God, which is identical to
No,
him?
when I asked you, is it contingent and is it intrinsic? You said yes.
Yeah, God's knowledge about the contingent thing, right, is going to be contained within God. That doesn't mean God has
No,
some contingent
let's
thing
make
within
this clear.
God. There's a distinction.
No, you're
It's
confused.
contained. Wait, 1 second. It's contained within God, but it's not identical to God.
is contained. The knowledge which is within God is identical to God, but the knowledge which is about something isn't.
Then. You just said it's
I'm telling you,
contingent. Now you are saying it's identical. So it's
Look, I'm
contingent
telling
identical
you,
and God's contingent. What?
I'm telling you the distinction.
Bro, Shakiana
Right.
definitely like.
I'm telling
bro.
I'm telling you the distinction so you guys don't like misunderstand
You're
me.
trying to lead her to hell,
So
bro.
what's in God? Look, God necessarily knows contingent things. The knowledge which God has is going to be within God, right? But the knowledge which we analyze it is going to be about a contingent thing. That
No, you're look
aboutness
at how
isn't
confused
going
this
to
guy is.
be
No.
that about
You're not gonna play this game. Look,
going to be in
look.
God.
You're it does whatever you're saying doesn't matter or make any
Yes, it
difference.
does. Yes, it does.
Because the question was simple, right? When you
Yes, it
consider the
does.
contingent, the contingent fact that he's alone. Stop saying that. That's not gonna make you look any better. The contingent fact that he's alone. You said, yeah, that's contingent. Obviously, that fact's contingent. But you also said it's intrinsic. Yeah.
I didn't say the contingent. I didn't say the contingent fact is going to be intrinsic to God.
Yes, you did.
The contingent fact. No, I said the knowledge which God has about Him being alone is going to be. Yes, I did. There's a distinction between the contingent. There's a distinction. Wait, hold on. There's a distinction between the contingent fact and the knowledge about the contingent fact. The contingent fact is about the world.
Stop telling me what I already know. Stop wasting my time.
Wait, one second.
Because if the contingent fact, wait, hold on. If the contingent fact, right, is about the world.
Listen. You see,
you're dumb.
Here's
you're
where
dumb.
What do you mean about the world? What do you mean about the world? The entire point. Listen. The entire. The entire point about the alone world is that it's only God that exists and nothing else. So
it's the contingent fact, right? And the knowledge about the contingent fact the same thing, yes or no?
No, that's not what I'm saying, you idiot. What I'm saying
so
is,
if it isn't the same thing, then it isn't going to be contained within God.
It doesn't make any difference. As long as you listen, no, it doesn't. I'll tell you why. It doesn't. As long as you have some contingent fact in the alone world, because God is all alone by stipulation, that just means it's gonna have to be intrinsic to God. It doesn't matter if there's a difference between his knowing and the thing known. It doesn't make any fucking difference.
The contingent fact isn't going to be intrinsic to God. The contingent fact is about the world.
See,
I said the knowledge.
This is why all of okay. All right.
Why
so
am
let me
I
ask
getting
you again.
interrupted?
So the contingent. Listen, because you're wasting time. The
I'm
contingent fact.
wasting time.
All right, let me ask you then. All right, let me ask you then now. The contingent fact. The contingent fact. Is it intrinsic or extrinsic to God?
It's going to be extrinsic.
Oh, how's it extrinsic? What's you relating to?
Because it's about the world, right?
What do you mean it's about the world? By stipulation, the alone world, God's the only thing that exists.
Because when we're stipulating the alone world, we're stipulating God to be in this world. So it's about the fact of the world itself.
What do you say? Listen, let me make this clear to you.
It's a fact about the world. It's not a fact.
Let me tell you why you're confused. And look at him changing his answer. I made a bet like 100. I made like I made a bet. I bet like $100 that he would change his mind, right?
It's the same.
You did, because last time on Umar's life, when I asked you whether it's intrinsic or extrinsic, you said it's intrinsic, and you also said it's contingent. But fine. But by the way, I'll tell you why this is confused as well, because when you say it's extrinsic, you're saying God is relating to something outside of himself. But by stipulation, in the alone world, there is nothing for God to relate to.
No, that's not what it means. So when I'm saying it's a contingent fact, something being extrinsic doesn't mean it's going to be a relation, you idiot. Right?
That's what it means.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so for example, a table is going to be extrinsic to me. Does it mean that I relate
this
to
guy
table?
fucking slow. Have you not read anything? Have you not read any of the literature at all? Because this
Have you read any of the literature that I adhere to?
The what?
Do you read any of the literature that I adhere to?
What your gibberish if you're scholastic?
Because you're giving argument. Okay, so are you giving
an internal
difference?
That doesn't make any difference.
Are you giving an internal
That doesn't make any difference to my argument. Listen. No, it doesn't. Let me tell you.
Argument's based upon
listen.
Based upon
changing. By the way, let me tell you something.
I'm telling you.
Changing. Listen. Changing. Hey, calm down. Changing the definition. Okay. Changing the definition of extrinsic doesn't address my argument.
We've been changing the definition of extrinsic. You're saying extrinsic, right, entails a relation. No, it doesn't.
That's how it's defined.
Okay, just because you define it that way doesn't mean I accept the definition.
No, but listen.
No.
I don't think I understand how this works.
You're an idiot.
Listen, you're an idiot, monkey. I'll tell you why.
Relation.
I'll tell you why. Because look, if all you're doing is like redefining the term, that doesn't deal with my argument. I'll tell you. Listen, stop talking. All that's gonna do. Look, that's just gonna be changing the topic. If you were just
changing the topic,
stop talking. I'm explaining.
Go on.
Listen, how are you gonna know what I'm talking about if you keep interrupting?
Go on.
Then stop talking. Fucking hell. Ape. Listen, because if you're just going to redefine the term, right, then you're just changing the topic. Then you're just looking at another argument that because you change or redefine the term, it's unsound. But that doesn't deal with my argument.
Unsound? What does that even...
But you know what that means?
Cannot be unsound. No, a premise cannot be unsound. That makes no sense.
I never... Oh, wow. This guy's just making...
You stated...
Listen,
you said that
listen,
extrinsic is going to... You idiot.
I don't know if you... Look, I never said a premise is unsound. I never said that. Stop making stuff up.
The statement is going to be unsound. You never said an argument.
No, I said...
If you
redefine the term extrinsic, you're just going to be dealing with another argument that is unsound. That's what I said.
He was already being unsound, you idiot. I never accepted the premises which you given. 1 and 2.
You're fucking confused. You don't even get what I'm saying. You don't even get what I'm saying. Look, I can still mind what you're saying. You're saying that if I redefine extrinsic to not entail a relation, then I'm dealing with a different argument which is unsound, right? Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah.
Okay, and I'm telling you that, again, the argument which you are giving me and I'm dealing with is still going to be unsound, right? So both arguments is going to be unsound.
Don't be an idiot. Look, the argument we're talking about, which is listen, the argument we're talking about, the aloneness argument, how I formulated, that's what we're debating right now, you idiot. So listen, redefining the term in such a way where it's going to make the argument unsound doesn't deal with my argument. That just changes the topic. That just changes the topic.
Right? Cool. So you have premises and a conclusion. If the premise has this like notion, right, which I reject, is that premise going to be true or false?
What the fuck are you saying? I'm telling you, if you're just going to redefine the terms in the argument where it makes the argument unsound, you're not dealing with my argument anymore. Because
it's unsound because it has this definition.
No. Shh. Because how I'm defining these terms, the argument would come out sound. But if you're going to redefine them where it's going to make the argument unsound, that just changes the topic.
Okay, so when you give an argument and the argument is sound, is the argument sound because you believe it to be sound, right? Or is the argument going to be sound?
What the fuck are you saying? Are you fucking confused?
I'm telling you. Look, is the argument, when you're giving an argument...
You need me to hold your hand along the entire way.
Michael, look. Is the argument against my position and my commitments?
Obviously.
Okay, beautiful. Meaning that if the argument is sound, it entails, I accept the premises...
Why are you stuttering?
I'm not stuttering, but anyways,
you are.
Right, like I stated, right? So if the argument is going to be sound, then it assumes that G1 takes the premises to be true, right?
Obviously.
You dumbass. So I don't take the premises to be true. Therefore, it's sound. You're
why
telling me sound. Okay.
All right. So why do you think we're sitting here? Hey, moron. Why do you think we're sitting here and arguing about it? I'm giving you arguments for why you should.
So the argument is sound because you say it's sound?
No, are you fucking moron? I'm obviously sitting here giving you arguments for why you should accept the premises. Wait, are you slow? Sorry, my bad. I forgot you're a monkey. You don't even know how arguments work. Like, look, G1, I guess you didn't know this, right? But when people are giving arguments, right?
Really did.
They're giving arguments for the premises for why you should accept them as true.
You didn't give an argument for the premises, you dumbass. You didn't give an argument. You didn't give the argument for the premises one. Again, your premise contains... A premise contains a statement which I don't take to be true. Okay, what's the argument for the premises?
Look, the first three premises in the argument that I've laid out, you accept all of them. Those are just your commitments. Those are all your commitments.
Three premises. Yeah, just because I accept 3 of your premises doesn't make your argument sound, you dumbass.
No, that's not the point I'm making. And then you have premise 4, and then you have premise 4. Look, then you have premise 4 and premise 5. And I'm fine if here's what I do. You can either you're going to reject premise 4 because it's going to say that God's knowledge is not necessary. You're going to reject that.
God's knowledge is non-necessary?
No. Premise 4 says his knowledge that he's alone is not necessary. You're obviously going to reject that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to reject that.
All right, that's fine with me.
Okay.
But I use this as a segue because you at least admit there's some contingent fact in that world. As long as there's some contingent fact, I'm going to ask the question whether it's extrinsic or intrinsic.
That means that I accept there's some contingent fact. That means it's going to be intrinsic. Okay, so what's the motivation for that premise then?
For which?
Premise 4, the one that I reject.
No, I'm telling you, I can grant that, right? I can grant that it's false.
So I'm asking for the motivation.
I don't think you get it. Okay,
and you give an argument to justify it, right?
No. Shh, calm down. I'm telling you, I can grant that Kantian essentialism is true, right? I can grant that. That's fine. That's not my problem. The problem is, as long as you accept there's a contingent fact in the alone world, that's all I need for the argument to work.
Is the argument
as long as there is, because look, as long as there is this content which is contingent, I can just ask the same question: is it extrinsic or intrinsic?
Okay, so is this a justification for premise 4?
No, I'm saying I can grant premise 4 is false.
Okay, but you said that you gave justification for the premises. So I'm asking you for the justification for premise 4. Go on.
I'm telling you, I can grant it's false.
Okay,
That's
so
not gonna-
you
that
granting
doesn't
it
make any
false.
difference.
Okay, that
I don't
doesn't.
need
Okay, you state. Okay, is it the case that you state that it is going to be justification for premises of your argument?
No. I said that's what we were
Oh,
arguing
so
about
you
in Umar's
didn't say
live.
that. So
No,
okay,
I
so
did.
you
No,
don't
no.
have justification for
No.
premises.
No. When we are in
Okay,
Umar's
then
live,
your
I
argument
did-
is unsound. GG's.
No.
Okay.
No, you're an idiot. Listen, when we are in Umar's live, I did give justifications for the premises.
So give the justification. Do it right now, then. What the heck?
No. I don't think you get it, you fucking idiot.
You don't want to do it right now?
What we were debating, what we were debating
Okay,
was
so
premise 3. What we were debating was premise 3. I had to explain to you why premise 3 is just your own position. That's what was going
I
on.
wasn't debating premise 3. I think I was done.
Yes, you were. You
disputing.
said on Umar's live, you said you reject premise 3.
I don't remember. Maybe premise 4 or 3 or 4.
Oh, you fucking
I don't remember. That's besides the point. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it above
That's
with you,
fine.
man.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so what was? Can someone put the argument on the screen again?
Devani, can you put it up?
Can you put it on?
Well, right now you're rejecting content essentialism. He's granting you that, but he's asking you now.
Well, I don't see my response rejecting content essentialism. So
You fucking idiot! I'm not saying it. Listen.
No, I'm not responding to you, you dumbass. So I don't know why you're calling me an idiot.
You're so confused. Look. Let me help you through this.
Okay. Anyways, so premise 3. Okay.
Yeah. Let me help you through this.
For that.
For what?
For premise 3.
That's your own position, you idiot.
No, wait, isn't my position.
Yes, it is.
If premise 3,
We're gonna have to go through this again. Hey,
So, okay,
G1.
go on.
Whatever is
So what's
intrinsic
the
to God.
justification for that?
Let me just ask you a question. Hold on. Whatever is intrinsic to God is identical to God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you have to think about it? That's your view. But sure. So
Yeah, that doesn't mean premise 3 is my view,
okay.
dumbass.
Also, God is
Okay,
necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, God is necessary. Everything within God is
So
going
if
to be
everything's in Him,
God,
if
yeah.
everything in Him is intrinsic to Him and it's identical to Him, it's necessary. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
There's premise 3. You idiot. You
Oh,
fucking
premise,
moron.
okay, you dumbass. That's not what premise 3 is saying. Premise 3 isn't saying, right, if everything is intrinsic to God is going to be necessary, God's
It's
knowledge.
saying that if it's
right,
identical to God, it's necessary.
well, it's talking about God's knowledge within him. He's not talking about the fact, right, which the knowledge relates to. Just look, premise 3. Look, let me ask you a question. Premise 3, right? When you read
You're
the
not getting it.
antecedent,
Hey,
if you read
buddy.
that, look,
Buddy,
I didn't
listen to
interrupt
me.
you when you gave your explanation. Can you please don't interrupt me?
No, but you're confused.
I'm
Because
confused. Is it?
listen,
That's what you stated earlier, but I still,
Hey,
man, what you were trying
it
to
should be
argue.
simple. Premise 3 is saying his knowledge is necessary because it's identical to God. If it's identical to God, it's intrinsic to God.
Oh.
This is all just your own position.
Okay, premise, yeah, the antecedent says if God's knowledge raised alone is identical to God, then that knowledge must be necessary. What is that being indexed to?
The fact that He's alone. The knowledge that He's alone.
So, wait, the fact that he's
Wait, you
alone
didn't know that?
and the knowledge, wait, hold on, the fact that he's alone and
Wait,
the knowledge
you
that
didn't
is-
know
wait,
that?
hold on. The fact that he's alone and the knowledge that he's alone, is that going to be the same thing?
No, it's saying the knowledge that He's alone.
I'm
You
asking-
idiot.
I'm
Can you not
asking-
read?
I'm asking
Can
you
you
the
not
question,
read?
dumbass.
Can you not read? It's in front of you.
I know I can read, but you stated something.
Hey, monkey, it's in front of you. It's saying
So
his
funny,
knowledge.
so-
Hey, read. Hey, if you just spend some time reading, we didn't have to waste this
Because-
time. Hey, listen, it's in front of you.
Funny.
Hey, oh yeah, it's real funny, monkey. Look, if you just read, it's talking about his knowledge. It's saying the knowledge that He's alone.
You read that, you dumbass.
Okay,
Right,
so then why are you wasting
I'm addressing
time?
the point.
So why are you wasting time?
I'm addressing the statements which you said regarding to how it's been interpreted, dumbass. So again,
What are you saying?
right, you said the fact, oh my goodness. When I said in the consequent that, what's that being indexed to? You said the fact that he's alone and the knowledge that he's alone. And
No,
I'm
that's not what
asking
I
you to
said.
clarify. So you didn't make those two statements?
No, I said it's about the knowledge that He's alone.
I'm asking you, did that make, so you never said the fact about him being alone?
No,
You
not in
did,
premise
you
3,
didn't
no.
state that.
That's not what I said
Huh?
about premise 3, no.
Okay, so it's the knowledge that he's alone. Is that going to be necessary?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this knowledge is going to be something within God. Yeah, knowledge, yeah, that's going to be
Okay, so
necessary.
that knowledge is necessary.
God's knowledge is going to be necessary, yeah.
So yeah, but the knowledge that He's alone
But
is
that's not
necessary.
what the
Yeah?
consequent is. Yeah, but that's not what the consequent is stating, though. It should be.
That
It should be.
Hey, are you
The
serious?
consequent. Oh my goodness. If someone right says, "Oh yeah, what's it called? Omar is gay," and what they mean by that is Omar is happy, but then we understand. But we understand. We hold on.
Give that
But we understand.
example,
We
Mark,
hold
give
on,
that
man.
example.
Look, it's a very good example. Look, if someone says Omar is gay, right, but then what the individual means by that is saying they're happy, but we understand gay is commonly used to indicate someone who's a homosexual. Right, doesn't mean that that's what's being indicated there precisely. No, right? You're saying
What's
that.
this guy
Okay,
saying?
cool.
You're not even
Because
listen. What
that-
you're saying
look,
doesn't
that-
make any difference. Look, what you're saying doesn't
You know
make
what
any
that-
difference. You're
you
just
know what that
wasting
means?
time.
Look,
You're wasting
In
time.
the consequent, look, if God's knowledge by his alone is identical to God, then that knowledge must be necessary because God is necessary, right?
You accept that?
I accept that if and only if it's speaking about God's knowledge, right, that he has, not the thing which the knowledge relates to.
Are you blind? It's almost like,
oh my goodness, bro.
Look, it's right in front of you, you monkey. It's right in front of you.
But the reason why,
it's right in front of you.
But the reason why that
I
makes
guess
no
you have
sense.
trouble reading. Anyway,
let me tell you why. Hold on, let me tell you why.
No, I don't want to hear why. You're wasting time. You're wasting time. So now that we got that out of the way, let me tell you what.
Stop
talking. Now that we got that out of the way, now the one you're gonna want to reject is premise 4, yeah?
The one that I'm gonna reject is gonna be for God's knowledge by his alone. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. What? Premise 4. God's knowledge by his alone is not necessary.
You want to reject it, yeah?
That's not going to be rejected.
Oh wait, you accept that?
But God's knowledge by his alone.
Well, wait, I just want to hear that again. Which would you want? God's knowledge that he's alone is contingent, yeah?
God's knowledge by his alone. No, God doesn't have contingent knowledge about him being alone.
Oh, okay. So you reject premise 4.
God's knowledge. Look, I'm telling you why. Right?
Tell me
because
why.
You're trying to give a reductio, right? Okay. So if premise 3 and premise 4, right? That's it. Premise 3 is going to be conditional, and premise 4, right, is negating, right, what's been stated in the conditional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's stating, but God's knowledge is not necessary. Saying that knowledge, right, is going to be contingent, right? Therefore, God is not simple.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, beautiful. And I'm stating that when we speak about premise 4 is indicating that because, right, he's alone is going to be something which is necessary, and God's knowledge of that, right, is going to be necessary in relation to premise 3, right, then that's going to be contradictory to what's been stated in premise 3 if we accept that knowledge to be necessary. Therefore, a contradiction is due, right, in virtue of us saying that God knows contingent things, but the contingent thing isn't going to be necessary. Because you want to postulate that because in God, right, God is necessary, everything within God is necessary, then that knowledge which God has to also be necessary, but we also take it to be contingent. But when we're not saying that the contingency is within God itself, we're saying the contingency, right, is about the thing by which God chooses not to occur, regarding to his like will and all of that type of stuff.
You know what's the problem there?
The problem here is that the reason why I reject premise 4, I'll just reject premise 4 if that's what's being indicated in premise 3.
I told you. By the way, we could have saved so much time.
Hold on. If that's what's being indicated in premise 3, right? Then I'll reject premise 4, of course.
Okay. We could have saved so much time. I told you from the beginning, the one you want to reject is premise 4, but you wanted to waste time.
But you got to remember, wait, hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this argument not derived from Matthew Grant?
Derived from who?
Was this argument not formulated by Timothy Paul and Matthew Grant?
Yeah.
Okay, right? Meaning that some people, right, interpret the premises differently. So when I came across this argument, the way they interpreted premise 3 isn't the way in which you interpret it. So premise 4 is going to be rejected. So what's your justification for that?
Okay, there you go. That's where I wanted to get to. Now, here's the problem. No, actually, maybe let's do it different this time instead of going that route. So the way we can go about justifying premise 4 is by saying that basically, if you don't have content essentialism, you're not going to have any way of individuating different beliefs. So that's what motivation you can get for premise 4. Because possibly one way of individuating beliefs is based on their content that they essentially have. But obviously, in order for you to deny premise 4, you have to deny that. You're going to have to say the content of God's knowledge, which is contingent, is not essential to his knowledge because his knowledge is necessary.
So repeat that again. Regarding the content essentialism.
If you deny content essentialism, it doesn't seem like you have any way of individuating beliefs. And that's obviously what you need to deny premise 4. Because you'd be denying that you'd be saying you have one belief where the content is not essential to that belief, because God's belief or knowledge, however you want to say it, is necessary, the content is contingent. So it's not essential to it. But plausibly one way of distinguishing between beliefs is by their content, which is essential to them.
Okay, cool. Okay, beautiful. And Okay, cool. So when we say that the content is contingent, what do you think we mean by that?
That it could have been different.
But what do you mean it could? Okay, that's very okay. When we say it, okay, so how would you understand content to me? Let's actually define that.
What's the context of belief is what the belief represents or what it's about.
So the content is what the belief is about, right? So okay, cool. So give me a second. I'm gonna toilet.
Why you told me? Why do you? Oh,
So okay, so you define content to be what is the belief about, right? And when you think we're saying the content is contingent, then you think we're saying that the belief can remain, but the content is different.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. That's entailed.
But that's not what we're saying.
That's entailed from look. Unfortunately,
That's not what we're saying.
Hey,
No, look.
Okay, I'm gonna make this simple for you. If God's knowledge is necessary and what his knowledge represents, the content of his knowledge is contingent, then yeah, the content can differ and the knowledge can remain the same. That's your view.
When we say God's knowledge is when we say God's knowledge is necessary, we're just saying that it isn't the case that in some way God doesn't know this thing, right? And then when we're saying
that's not what I'm saying.
Look, I know that's not what you're saying. I'm telling you what I'm saying, but then the point that you're making is that if we're saying the content is contingent, then you're saying that the belief can remain the same, right? But the content differs. But when we're saying the content is contingent, we're not saying that the content regarding to God's belief, right, is contingent. If we're saying that the content represents what God's belief, because if the belief, right, is just going to signify the attitude which the individual has towards this content, and we're saying that this is going to be necessary, that doesn't mean that what the content is about is necessary. We're saying what the content is about is going to be contingent. You don't know what you're talking
about. The content isn't about anything. The content is the thing.
Isn't about anything.
What? The content is the thing being represented by beliefs. That's what the content is. You know the dumb distinction you guys make between the knower and the known. The content is the known, the thing known.
You said wait, so the content isn't about the belief. It doesn't represent.
The content is what the belief's about.
So the content is what the belief is about. So the content. So yeah. Okay, cool. So the content isn't about the belief.
No, the content is what the belief is about. It's the other way around.
Okay. So the content is about what the belief is about. So regarding to the content, okay, when I'm talking about the content being about something, right, I'm saying that the content is referencing something external from the agent, which the individual believes. What are you even saying,
dude? Listen, you don't even know what you're talking about.
For example, I can give you an example.
You don't know what you're talking about. Look,
give you an example.
I'm going to do this to save time. Look, I'll make it simpler for you. This, you know, when you guys talk about the knower and the known, the distinction between the mode of knowing and the thing known, that's what I'm talking about. You have the thing known and the mode of knowing. The thing known is the content.
So if the thing known is the content, right, but the thing known within God is going to be necessary, not contingent.
No, in this case it is contingent because the fact that he's alone is contingent.
What do you mean? If you're saying that, look, if you're using scholastic language and you're saying that the thing known is going to be the content, and the thing known is going to be within the knower, and the thing known pertains to the way in which it exists in the knower. Oh my! Look, you just cooked yourself, Donna. Look, if the thing known is going to be the content, right, then the thing known within the knower, right, exists, right, in the knower in the way in which it exists, meaning that it's going to be necessary if, right, the agent's relation to it is going to be necessary. So it isn't going to be contingent. And when we say, okay, but we make a distinction, right, between what's it called, the thing known and the thing known which represents the object, and the object is going to be contingent. So that's what we're indexing contingency to.
Okay, that's fine. Listen, so the object that's contingent here, the fact that God's alone, that fact, okay, you're saying that God's knowledge can remain the same while that fact changes. Yeah?
God's knowledge can remain the same even, yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. That's denying content essentialism. So how do you individuate different beliefs?
Because the fact, again, the fact, right, and the content isn't going to be the same thing. Because if the fact differs, that doesn't mean the content differs, right? Because even if we take, you just said, wait, hold on. Did you not say?
Look, I'm gonna explain this one more time. The content is just whatever the knowledge or belief represents.
I know.
If you believe some fact, then the content is the fact.
The content is the fact?
If you have some belief about some fact, then yeah, the content is the fact, because the content is what the belief's about.
So the content is the fact, and is here, like, what do you mean is? Like, are you saying there's like some numerical sameness relation, like you're saying, but the fact and content is the one and the same thing in reality.
Fuck, this guy's
I'm
love
asking you a clarify, you dumbass.
Listen, dumbass.
Content
stop
is the
wasting
fact.
time.
Is it
Stop
going to be?
wasting time.
I'm not
Listen,
wasting time.
yes, you are.
I'm not wasting
What
time.
I'm-
Do you see?
listen,
Do you not see the content is
Let me
the
make
fact?
it. Hey, shh. What I'm telling
Do you
you
not
is
see the content is
the
the fact?
content. Hey, the content of a belief and the fact which your belief is about that's the same thing. There's no difference.
Earlier you said it is a difference, you dumbass.
No,
What are
I
you
never
talking
said
about?
that.
Yeah,
No, I
you
never
did.
said
Look,
that.
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. You said it implicitly.
Wait,
Well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why
hold
you said that
Val,
implicitly. Let me
wait, hold
tell you.
on. Val, make a vow to your stone god that I actually said that. And if I didn't say that, you can burn it
I
down.
don't make vows. I don't have to do that. Well,
Because
let
you're
me tell you
lying. You're lying. I never said that.
why. Let me tell you why you stated that implicitly. Right? Cool.
Oh,
When
said that implicitly.
oh my goodness, right? So if we know, okay, let's use your system, right? If we see someone has a belief, right, then, and we say that's true, right, then there's going to be a content which is contained in the belief, right?
What the fuck are you saying?
Oh my goodness,
how
bro.
many
I'm
times do I have to go
saying,
over this? I don't
if we
think you know what
use your
content
system,
means.
look, it's not hard. If the content is going to be contained in the belief,
What
right,
the
is what the
fuck
belief
are
is.
you saying? Again,
Oh my
the
goodness,
content.
the content expresses what the
You're not getting monkey. You're not following the content.
expresses what the person believes, right?
Monkey. I just want you to repeat. What is content again? I don't think you know.
You take on the expression of what the individual believes.
No. It's what the belief is about.
So it's not an expression of what the person believes.
No, it's what the belief is about. How many times do I have to say it?
So it's going to be an attitude which the individual has with this expression.
Whatever
right?
their belief is representing, right? Like when you have a belief about some sort of cat, you're representing some cat. The content is that fucking cat.
Okay, and the content is identical to the fact, right?
Yeah, the fact that you're representing, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So, and the content, okay, is the content going to be intrinsic or extrinsic? In your view, I want to understand this. In your view,
hey, moron, what the fuck are you asking? To what?
Is it going to be intrinsic in the individual?
Listen, I don't think you
or
get
is
this.
It going to be extrinsic?
I don't think you. Hey, listen, I don't think you get this. Depending on the context, the answer differs, right? When it comes to the alone world, I'm obviously going to argue that this content is intrinsic to God because God's all alone. There's nothing else other than God.
So there's some contents which are going to be intrinsic and extrinsic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's not all the so not in every case the content is going to be the fact.
Holy fuck.
Is that the case? Yes or no?
What the fuck are you even saying? What the fuck
you just said in the alone world, right? It isn't going to be the case for the content is internal but external, right?
No, I said the opposite.
So so it's the case for the content is going to be internal?
Intrinsic, yeah.
And the fact is going to be intrinsic, right?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, what I don't really understand. That makes no sense. Because
what makes no
normally
sense?
a fact, yeah, because I define content and fact differently. Because a fact,
who fucking cares?
Well, I do, because if it's the case for you,
that doesn't deal with my argument.
Yes,
Listen,
yes, it does.
That doesn't deal with my argument. Listen, I'm gonna make this clear again.
I'm gonna deal with your argument.
Oh, and by the way, all that fact is taken to mean in the philosophical sense is some state of affairs that obtains. That's all it's taken to mean. So I don't really know what's confusing.
Oh my goodness! Look, the fact is going to be like an entity, right? Okay, cool. And the content, right, can either be the entity, right, or it could be something which is within the entity, which has knowledge about that fact.
What are you saying? Are you an idiot? Like, listen.
Oh, it's not. Oh my goodness! You said. Look, let me tell you what.
You're an idiot. You're confused.
It's not hard, bro.
No.
It's not hard.
Listen,
look.
This is a waste of time. This is a waste of time.
A waste of time. Oh my goodness!
It is a massive waste of time. You have no idea what you're talking about.
If someone has a belief, look. If someone has a belief,
I already see listen, I don't even want to deal with this fucking whole lump of confusion that you have.
It's not confusion. Okay, I'll lay down my point where I want to just address it.
Okay, let's just get to this.
I'll just address.
No, let's get back to the other point.
Addressing the point. Oh my goodness.
No, you're not. So, yeah. So look, again, if you have cases where you have belief and you have content of the belief, but you're saying the content isn't essential to the belief, what distinguishes different beliefs?
No, because you look the whole. The whole point is that you have this view on content and fact which is confused, because if you say content is just going to be hold up, look, if the content is going to be the thing known and the fact isn't going to be the same in any sense. So when you're saying that, okay, Woody, I'm an idiot. You're talking
by
about
the way,
my utilizations of thing.
Listen, nobody cares. That doesn't make any difference. I don't think you realize that.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes,
listen. You don't even know what fact means. You're making shit up as you go. Listen, stop wasting time. Let's just get to the point. How do you differentiate? Let's get to the point. Let's get to the point. How do you differentiate?
I'm telling you what a fact is.
Hey, how do you individuate
what a fact
beliefs? How do you individuate different beliefs?
The individuation of different beliefs is going to be, its formal object.
It's what?
Its formal object. There will be the thing known. The thing known is what individuates.
No. Wait. Listen.
The thing known. Okay,
cool. Listen, that doesn't work because I'm telling you.
Are you dumb? Do you not see the content is the thing known? If the content is going to.
No. Hey, calm down. No. I'm telling you that doesn't work because you're denying that the content or the thing known of a belief is you're saying it's non-essential.
No, that isn't what I'm saying. You're getting confused. Look,
no,
that's what I'm saying. You're getting confused.
That isn't what I'm saying. That isn't what I'm saying. Look, buddy. That's what you're gonna have to affirm in order to deny premise 4.
No.
Yes.
Look,
because I'll make this. Listen, let me make this simple for everyone. When you have a belief and you have what the belief represents, which is just content, if the content changes, then the belief changes as well because the content is central to the belief. That should be obvious. So if you're denying premise 4, which says that God's knowledge that he's alone is not necessary, if you accept content essentialism, that's correct because the fact that he's alone is contingent, so the knowledge must be contingent as well. If you're denying it, you have to deny this thesis. So appealing to the content is going to help you distinguish beliefs.
Okay, cool. So let me still know what you're saying. So you're saying, okay, G1, right? If it is the case for the content is what the belief is about, right? And the content and fact is going to be the same. If the content,
why are you wasting time?
I'm trying to see if I'm not characterizing incorrectly, you dumbass. What the heck?
It should be obvious what I'm saying. There's no need to repeat everything I said.
The fact, because I don't want it to be the case that when I respond to your point and the argument that you're making, you're saying, but that isn't what I said. Right, so you're saying, but if the content and fact is going to be the same thing, right, and what's it called, the content is what the belief is about. If the fact changes, that means the content changes, right? Is that what you say, Michael?
No, I said that if no, you see, you're not listening. I said that if the content changes and you think the content's essential to the belief, then the belief changes.
So if the content changes, then the belief changes. But no one's saying the content change, dumbass.
I don't think you get it. Hey, dumbass.
So do we believe the content changes?
Hey, dumbass.
The content doesn't change.
Yes, it does, buddy.
No, it doesn't.
I'll make it simple for you.
It doesn't change.
And the fact that God's alone, is that contingent?
The fact that God, that's going to be contingent, but the fact isn't the content.
Wait.
The fact isn't the content.
So I just want to be. So that fact varies across worlds, right? Because in some worlds he's not alone.
Yeah, and the fact isn't the content.
So okay,
if the fact changes, that doesn't mean the content changes, right?
I'm going to ask you an extra question.
Right.
Wait, hold on. But the knowledge that he's alone.
If the fact changes and the fact isn't the content, that means the content doesn't change, right?
Calm down.
Right.
Now the knowledge that he's alone, does that change or vary across worlds?
The knowledge that he's alone, does that change? No, it doesn't change.
There you go, you fucking idiot. That's what I'm saying.
What? Just because
that's a rejection.
So the reason so the change is the content, right, doesn't vary, but the fact varies. And if the fact varies, that means
the content does vary. Look, let me make this simple for you.
I just told you the content doesn't change. Wait, hold on. I just told you the content doesn't change.
Look, listen.
Wait, how does it? I just said it doesn't. How does it?
I'm gonna have to walk you. I'm gonna have to walk you through this. Again, content is what the knowledge is about. In the alone world, when you have God's knowledge that he's alone, the content is what, G1? What's the content?
You just said the content is what the knowledge is about, right? And you're saying the fact that the content is the same.
Okay, listen.
And did you not say that?
No.
I'm not confused.
No, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Listen,
I'm trying to help you to show that where you are getting mistaken.
Listen. God's knowledge that he's alone. What's the content there?
You really don't.
What's the content?
The content is going to be by his alone in some world.
There you go. Great. Good job.
Okay. So if God is in a world, but that doesn't change. If there's a world in which God isn't alone, because that knowledge is going to be indexed to the world in which he is, dumbass.
Listen.
So it doesn't change.
So now that we know
it doesn't change. So it doesn't change.
Stop talking. So the content that
it doesn't change.
Hey, can you stop talking? Right.
Now go on.
So you said the content is the fact that he's alone, yeah?
Okay,
great. Does that fact vary across possible worlds?
The fact does vary across possible worlds.
Okay, great. All right. Now the knowledge of that fact, the knowledge that represents that fact, does that vary across possible worlds, G1?
The knowledge of the fact doesn't vary across possible worlds.
Great, there you go.
Because the knowledge doesn't represent you, dumbass. Because
Right.
the knowledge doesn't represent the fact, dumbass. We don't believe that.
What the fuck are you saying?
Okay.
Look
You
at how
said
confused this guy is.
because
Listen.
you asked me, does the
Listen.
knowledge represent the fact? Yes or no?
No, I never asked you whether it represents the fact.
Does it represent the fact? Yes or no?
That's no. I take that to be a necessary condition of beliefs. That's
I'm asking,
represented.
okay, so the knowledge represents, yeah, we don't believe God's knowledge represents facts.
Then
So
he
if
doesn't.
the
No,
fact
then he,
changes,
okay, well then look. Then your
that
God's
doesn't,
not
that doesn't
omniscient.
follow. That doesn't
Then your
follow.
God's not
because-
omniscient.
That
Then your
doesn't,
God's
that
not
doesn't follow
omniscient.
because God's omniscience isn't based upon his knowledge representing facts.
I don't think you get it.
It's
Listen,
that the facts
a
represent his
necessary-
knowledge,
listen,
dumbass.
Calm down.
Is it-
A necessary. Hey,
the facts
dumbass.
represent.
A necessary condition for beliefs is that they're representative.
That's not true. If you're taking representational to be that God's knowledge has to represent the facts, we don't believe that, dumbass. So you're not even
You see,
arguing
this
against
guy,
the
you're a
God's
fucking
confused
idiot.
position.
No, you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even know how this works. You're completely confused.
I'm
Look,
an
why do you?
idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you are an
I'm an
idiot.
idiot.
You are.
So
Yeah.
okay, so the classical
Yeah.
theist is compared. Okay, so
Yeah,
classical
you're confused. Listen, calm down. Look, let me. The reason.
believe that God's knowledge
Hey,
represents
hey,
facts.
hey, calm down. Let me explain something to you. The reason we say stuff like beliefs are truth apt is because beliefs represent things. And that's how we can check whether they're true or false, whether what they represent actually obtains. If it doesn't obtain, the belief's false. So
The only-
the thing is,
the-
yeah, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That only pertains to humans, right? That doesn't pertain to
No.
Let me tell
It's
you
not-
why.
no,
Let me
no,
tell you
no,
why.
no,
Let
no,
me
that's
tell you
not how it
why.
works.
Let me
That's
tell you.
not how
Yes,
it works.
yes, how
That's
it
not how
works.
it works.
That's how it
It's
works,
not how it
dumbass.
works.
I'm telling you
No,
why.
no, that's not how it works. It's a necessary condition.
Yes, it does. This
Look,
does.
if you're
Right, because-
talking about, look, if you're talking
It
about
doesn't,
something that
dumbass.
isn't,
Let me tell you why.
Listen, dumbass.
God's knowledge
Nobody's stuttering, by the way. I don't even know why you're making those
Yes, it is.
sounds.
God's
Look,
knowledge-
if I whip you, you'll make even more
represent
sounds.
facts, dumb.
You want me to whip you so you can make
Yeah.
even more sounds? Don't you want?
You're-
You're getting whipped because you're black.
Now, nigga, we talking
You're an
about?
ape. You're an ape. Monkey see, monkey do, nigga.
No, he left. No.
And we finally made it to P4, bro. Like, about time.
Do you know what's like? I feel like Michael and G1 have like a Yahweh
That shit
relationship.
was worse than yesterday, man.
Wait, but Vanity.
This guy is a fucking pain, bro.
Wait, but Vanity.
You made progress, Michael, because last time I heard you guys were stuck on bloody premise 3 and
Oh, he
premise
kicked
2.
you.
Oh, there was no progress. He changed his answer.
From last time.
Yeah, bro, that discussion needs to be studied, bro. Needs to be studied, bro.
Okay.
Juan, have you come to your senses?
It's been the case, bro. So you stated that knowledge, okay, look, let me characterize you. You stated
No, don't
that
repeat
to
what I
have a
said.
true belief.
No.
Yeah, dude, because you,
No, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you repeat what... I'm not going to sit here and
Yeah,
listen to you
it
repeat
isn't the
what I
case
already
for God,
said.
though.
Look, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to make some rules. If you repeat what I said or waste time, you're out of here. So we're going to get to the point and we're going to get to it quickly. I'm going to make this simple. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely scared. Sure. Yeah, I'm definitely scared. Look. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can definitely tell.
no, go on.
Yeah, sure. Listen. The point is, if
exposing-
we're gonna talk about some sort of mental state, and you're gonna say it's not representative of some sort of fact, then we're not talking about beliefs. It's as simple as that.
Okay, then it means that God doesn't have beliefs. If you take beliefs to
Okay,
mean
if your
that
God
some
doesn't have
representational
beliefs,
fact,
okay, well then,
okay,
look,
then
if
what's the
that's
argument
case,
against the aloneness argument?
If that's
then?
the
Go on.
case, look, if that's the case, your
Go on.
God's not omniscient.
Okay, and what's okay? That's
Wait,
okay. How do you
okay,
define
is that okay?
omniscience?
Is that okay?
That isn't okay. We don't define omniscience because God has beliefs, dumbass.
Are you fucking idiot? Listen, I don't think you
Are you
understand
an
how
idiot?
this works.
You think the
Because look,
commitment? Wait,
listen,
you think God is omniscient because
listen. When you say God knows all, listen, calm down, monkey. When you say God knows all facts, knowledge, a necessary condition of knowledge, is belief. Did you know that?
no, it isn't given.
Oh,
I'm giving you. Oh my goodness. Look, we understand. You're talking about JTB. I'm saying the
No, I'm not
conditions
talking
which
about
you
JTB.
gave.
No, I'm not.
What do you mean knowledge? Yeah, to have knowledge, you have to have a
That
justified.
doesn't
true
entail
belief.
JTB. You're fucking confused.
So what conditions are you laying out for an individual to have knowledge?
I'm not taking a specific view. I'm
Okay,
just.
so
look,
can you give a
I'm just-
specific
look,
view,
yes, sir.
dumbass? Can you give
What?
a specific view?
Why?
Can you give a
Why? What the fuck do I have to?
give a specific view?
Why? Why are you slow?
Right, because
You
you're
know?
talking about a specific view, are you not?
No, I'm not. I told you I'm not.
Okay, so if I give a
Look,
specific
I'm gonna
view
make it
and your
simple for
general
you.
view, wait, hold on.
Look, I'm gonna make it
If
simple
your
for you. I'll explain it to you so you can stop asking confused
specific
questions.
view,
Listen, I'll make it simple for you.
so
When it
it
comes
is
to
the
the
case.
listen, calm down. I'll explain it for you. When it comes to the debate about knowledge, the stuff that people disagree on is not whether knowledge is like whether a necessary condition for knowledge is belief. Nobody disagrees with that. No one. What's this?
I just told you. I just told you there is
no,
people here.
no, nobody. Listen, what's actually at issue? You're not. You're a monkey. You don't count as human. Listen, what's actually at debate, right? Is whether. That. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Must reject that.
Stop talking. No, he doesn't.
Yes.
Stop talking. Stop talking. What is actually at issue in these debates about our analysis of knowledge is whether it requires justification. That's the debate, you idiot.
Oh my goodness, you're so dumb.
Oh my goodness.
You're saying
this little ape doesn't even know. So look, all I'm doing is saying that I'm just saying that knowledge minimally for now. I'm saying that all that you require for knowledge is belief or true belief. That's all it requires. I'm not making any claim about whether you need an actual
you gave a essential condition for knowledge. You gave a knowledge.
Hey, what did I tell you? If you're gonna waste time or repeat what I said, what did I tell you is gonna happen?
I'm not repeating you, dumbass. I'm responding to what you
said. So get to the point. I told you. I said two things. It's not just repeating me. It's also wasting time.
Responding to what you said, so it's not wasting time, dumbass.
Then hurry up.
Okay, so I don't take knowledge to be that the beliefs represent something. Right, so that isn't going to be what knowledge is on. That's not confused. You're confused. You don't know what you're arguing against.
Listen, then you're not talking about knowledge.
You think the classical theist believe that God's knowledge represents facts, dumb?
Listen, then you're not talking about knowledge. I don't know what's
you think classical theist. Wait, hold on.
You're not talking about knowledge. You classical theists, listen.
I'm not talking about you.
Listen, there's nothing that you guys believe.
What kind of knowledge?
There's nothing that you guys believe that's even remotely.
Knowledge, dumbass.
Stop talking.
Knowledge. I'm not talking about your kind.
Listen, no, yes, that is what it means.
What kind of knowledge?
That is what. Yeah, then you're not talking about knowledge.
Your kind of knowledge don't.
You see, you're confused. Look, if you're gonna talk about knowledge, if you're gonna talk about knowledge where it doesn't have, look, if you're gonna talk about knowledge where one of its necessary conditions is in belief, or the claim, actually two claims. If it doesn't have these two necessary conditions, the fact that it has to be true and it has to be a belief, then you're not talking about knowledge.
Well, give the justification for knowledge has to be representational, but the belief.
That's just what it means. That's just what it means.
No, it doesn't have to mean that. No, it doesn't have to mean that.
Yes, that's what it means.
It doesn't have to mean that.
Look,
if the belief is true, I can give an account which doesn't give.
I'm going to make this clear for the last time. I'm going to make this clear for the last time. Again,
dumbass.
I can give you an account. Listen. I'm going to make this clear one last time.
Give an account.
Okay. I'm going to have to send you down for a second. Listen. What we're doing here, I don't care about your scholastic nonsense. So when I'm talking about certain terms and I'm giving definitions of these terms, I'm talking about the way philosophers define them, the way it's defined in philosophical contexts. If you're using it a different way, that's just changing the topic, right? Look, if you're talking about the way scholastics use it, that's just changing the topic. That's not the way it's used in the philosophical context. That doesn't address the argument. And look at this other idiot, that's question begging. Hey, Catholic Orthodox, I promise you do not know what question begging is. I promise you.
Don't take him seriously. He's confused.
Yeah, look. Let me tell you why you're confused, buddy. Because again, right? If right. So if you're saying that the standard way of how knowledge is being understood is going to be in this contemporary sense, right? And this argument against God's knowledge doesn't take the standard sense, then it means that the argument which you're giving.
Look, I never said I'm equivocating.
Track.
No, you need a track, monkey.
Track.
Monkey, you need. Okay, I'm gonna have to whip you now. Well, listen to this.
Yo.
But listen, I never said I'm equivocating on knowledge. I've been using it the same. I haven't changed it at any point in time that I use it in a different way. But I'll make this clear one more time. When I'm making these arguments, I'll make it clear. I am using knowledge in the same way the philosophers use it. If you're using it in a different way, you're not dealing with my argument. And you're changing the topic, right? Because that's how knowledge is used in the philosophical context. If you're using it in a different way, you're not using knowledge the way it's used in the philosophical context. So you're changing the topic to something that is in a philosophical context. Doesn't deal with the argument. You get it now? You get it now?
Yeah, I get what you're a retard. That's what I get.
Okay.
You can kick me and
what are you gonna do now?
I'm gonna tell you why what you just said is so dumb. Okay, cool. So when you say in the philosophical context, right? Is the philosophical context?
Hold on. Drop G1, and then come back because you did say the R word, bro.
Yeah, no. He's a.
And Catholic Orthodox. It's Catholic Orthodox. This is also why you're confused. I'm gonna insult you. It's not merely an internal critique. It's partly an internal critique. Nobody ever said the aloneness argument is purely an internal critique.
No, but look, host. Don't worry about Eastern Orthodox. He's like Catholic Orthodox,
Okay.
like Catholic Orthodox. Very confused.
So let me tell you why you're actually so low tier, right? Like even Ahmed Koresh is better than you. Look. So if you're saying, okay, cool, then knowledge, right? When you're saying the standard use of knowledge and you're taking it to be in this sense of how it's like used in contemporary philosophy, right? And it isn't the sense which is being utilized by classical theists like Thomas Aquinas and whatnot, right? Then this argument against classical theists isn't being based upon their commitments, right?
It's
being based upon your. No, it isn't. Because
no, it isn't. No, someone have to.
Let me tell you why.
Fucking slow. Yes, it is. Premise 1, premise 2, premise 3 is all your guys' commitments. That's why it's partly an internal critique, because all of those things, all of those things are your guys' commitments. But premise 4 isn't one of your guys' commitments. That's why it's not purely an internal critique. You see, you're confused. Nobody ever said it's purely an internal critique. I never said that. I never said when I'm making the argument, every term I use it the same way as the scholastics. Nobody ever said anything like that.
Look, it's a partly in. No one's saying. Oh, look.
So then what you're saying is irrelevant.
If it's okay, so I'm talking about the partly external critique, right? So if the partly external critique, right, derives from this use of knowledge, right, which you're utilizing within the argument, which isn't going to be something which the individual's committed to, right, then this conclusion of the argument which is derived from the premises isn't going to be a sound argument. You're going to
waste time again.
No, because
no, you don't get it.
This guy's dumb. This guy's dumb. Look,
no, you're dumb. Look, I don't think you get it.
Let me tell you why you're dumb. Let me tell you why you're dumb.
You want a whipping again?
Because you're dumb.
Okay, there's another one, so you can get in place. Listen, I'll make this clear one more time. If you mean something different by knowledge than how it's used in this argument, you're changing the fucking topic. You're not addressing this argument. I don't think you get it. Because look, under one interpretation of knowledge, this argument's sound. But under whatever other interpretation that you're trying to fucking talk about, it's not. But then that's just a different argument. You're not dealing with this argument. You're dealing with a different argument that's unsound, according to that interpretation. That's just changing the topic.
Then the argument is not like a logical consequence, to be honest.
Umar.
Look, can you hear me? Look, I've been addressing the argument, you dumbass. I rejected premise 4. You gave motivations for that premise. We analyzed what you meant by content and belief, right? And then we hit a foundation, right? Which is that when you speak about
all that happened was you changed the topic.
So you didn't give a motivation for premise 4?
No, that's what. No. You see, you need to start listening more.
You didn't.
No. You're not. You need to start listening more. That's what I'm saying. Listen, what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. But listen, the point was that you using knowledge in a different way is just changing the topic. Doesn't address the argument.
Oh my, look. I already no one's saying, oh my god, you're so dumb. I swear dumb.
How am I dumb?
Because that's a consequence of me addressing your argument.
The fuck are you saying? Look,
I'm telling you what I'm saying.
Listen,
Dumbass, you're not tracking. Premise 4. Look, premise 4.
Listen, no. You're gonna stop right there. Listen, I don't care what is the result. I don't care what it's the result of.
It's dumbass.
I don't care what is the result of.
The one's dumb.
Listen, I don't care what is the result.
The premise.
Hey, I don't care what. Okay, so you're gonna have to go. You don't stop talking. Anyway, Umar, you're an idiot.
Do you want like motivate? That's why I thought that. Like I don't believe that.
No, you're confused, Umar. I didn't say that would make it invalid. That's where you're confused.
No, but like you said,
that would make it unsound because you're gonna reject the premise. Because depending on how you interpret it, it could make it unsound or sound. That doesn't mean it's invalid based on how you interpret it.
Well, I can like tell you, because when you take like the model theoretic account of a logical consequence, then we would say that the inference or the inference we take like from the conclusion needs to be truth preserving across all models. And a model is going to be like interpretations. If you said, well,
that's different from soundness.
But you just said that, but if you just say that, well, the argument is only valid under. That's
not what I said.
Or true under one interpretation.
Dude,
then
that's slow. Dude,
if that's not what you said, then if that's not what you said, then I misheard you.
No, I said based on your interpretation, it could be unsound. Obviously, under a different interpretation or whatever the hell he's saying, it could be unsound. But that's just dealing with a different argument. Obviously, it's a different argument because one's unsound and one is sound, right? So people, that's the thing what these idiots do. They think they can respond to arguments by just redefining some of the terms or using the terms in a certain way where it would make the argument unsound. It doesn't deal with the argument.
Well, wait, like, maybe I don't know, like, look, I'm not trying to defend classical theism. Like, and I think the argument is sound. Like, I think your argument is good. I don't think G1's actually like responding to it, but I just like want to speak to you about something. Look, oh, 1 second, 1 second. We're talking about like a valid argument, at least how it's defined. Usually we define it.
I know. I know that valid arguments, the meaning doesn't matter. It's not going to make a difference to validity.
No, not the meaning. We're talking about like when we talk about like validity as a property for reductive arguments, right? Or we define it model theoretically, right? So we would say that something being valid means that across all models. Now, obviously, right, taking that models are going to be like a subset of interpretations. You're saying this argument is true under one interpretation, but not under the other, is saying that the argument is invalid.
No, that's not what I said.
Heard you, but I misheard you.
Okay, so
And
again,
so
I already told
confused.
you. I'm confused. Okay, anyways, you're confused because you're saying that I'm changing, right? The conversation, which I'm not, because what I stated is going to be a consequence of me addressing the argument. Because I reject the premise. I'm telling you what. You see, like, you're very confused, guy. You see, I'm confused, but you don't.
Yeah, no. Because look, I don't think you understand what I'm saying, right? It doesn't. I don't care.
And what I'm saying.
Whatever pushes you. Look, whatever pushes you to utter whatever the fuck you're gonna utter doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you're not changing the topic. I don't think you get it, right? Again, if I'm using knowledge in the way it's used in the philosophical context, and you're using it a different way, you're just changing the topic. What's so hard to get?
So, well, if you think that what's it called, if you think about winning, why is your friends not clapping their bum cheeks like they did in the other live? The other day, why is like the other point is
just because I disagreed with 1 second, just because
I'm not talking about you, SK. Oh my goodness,
bro. You said your friends. I am Michael's friend. Just because I disagreed with Michael.
Okay, and if it's not okay, if the description. Okay, so wait, SK. Wait, hold on, SK. Did I say? Wait, now you're confused. Now you're confused.
You're G1. G1, why are you trying to sound like me?
Did I say not to you?
This guy's taking my lines. Stop taking my lines.
Is it not the case? Did I not say? I said, why is it not the case that yesterday your friends is not clapping their bum cheeks? Were you the guys who were clapping his bum cheeks yesterday? It's not you, so I don't know what you're talking about, bro. But anyways, look, my point is, oh my goodness. My point is the reason why.
Oh, this guy. Wait, Intro, you're confused as well. You're confused.
It's a partly external, partly internal procedure. Yeah, I know. Look.
Oh, great.
The reason why I've been saying that, dumbass, right? So the reason why I am adjusting the argument is because I reject the premise 4. You gave motivations for premise 4. We analyzed these concepts of content and belief and all of these type of conditions which you laid out. And one of the conditions to have knowledge is that the knowledge has to represent the fact, which we don't take to be the case. Hence, shut the hell up, because I know you want to speak. Hence, that when we speak about
just because you said that, I'm going to have to mute you.
Hence, when we speak about...
Don't speak up to your master like that. Now keep going.
God's knowledge, right?
Good boy.
It can still remain the same even if the fact differs. But since you believe that knowledge represents the fact, if the fact differs, then the knowledge differs. This isn't going to be the case for God, dumbass. So you're just begging the question.
Oh, I'm begging the question. No, I don't think you know what I'm saying.
You're begging.
So what I said was that a necessary condition for knowledge is belief, and I said how beliefs understood is that beliefs attempt to represent something in the world. And if that's not the conception you're using, then you're changing the topic, right? Because I'm using these terms in the way they're used in the philosophical context. I don't care how the scholastics use them.
Look, the point is, we don't believe that knowledge just indicates like sort of.
I don't care what the scholastics believe.
You should.
No, I shouldn't.
If premise 4.
Listen, I don't care how the scholastics define these terms. That doesn't deal with my argument.
I already dealt with the argument itself, and based upon the things that you provided. Because when you said yes, because when you was given motivation from premise 4, you stated about, you make a distinction between the thing known and the known, and the content is going to be the thing known, right? And then you stated that when we look at the thing known regarding, right, the statement of him being alone, that is going to be identical to the fact, right? And if that is the case, then it means that if the fact changes, the knowledge changes because the fact and
Why are you
the
so
knowledge is
stuck
the
on
same.
this?
Because I'm telling you, we reject the identity relation between the fact and the content.
Listen,
If the
okay,
content
but
is the
okay,
thing
look,
known,
okay.
dumbass.
Look, you see, he's gonna keep harping on this. Look, I don't even care. Okay, let's say they're
You
different.
don't
Who
care,
cares?
but that's
Look,
the whole
that,
point
look,
of your
that,
argument.
no. That
Okay.
doesn't make a difference. That doesn't make
Yes,
any
it does.
difference.
Yes,
No,
it
it
does.
doesn't.
Yes,
No, it doesn't.
It
Because look,
really does.
look, I'll tell you why it doesn't. Because all we're saying is that when you have a belief and you have this content, and the content's essential, obviously, if the content changes, the belief changes. But if you're saying you can have some belief where the content changes, but the belief doesn't, then you're denying that thesis, right? And what that's what you're exactly look. That's exactly what you're saying. Look, wait, stop. I'll tell you why that's what you're saying. Because when it comes to the alone world, where God is all alone, you're saying the content here is the fact that He's alone. That's the content. Okay.
Nope, that isn't what I'm saying. But anyways,
That,
that's what you're trying to say.
No,
That isn't what I'm saying.
No.
You're telling me what I believe now?
No. You accept all of this. You accept all this. Don't play games.
So don't think the
Yes, you
content
do.
and the fact is the same. No,
I never said they were. Look. Oh yeah.
you just said the oh.
No, I didn't. Listen. No, I didn't.
You did agree that it is the content.
You said the content
Look,
is the fact.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No,
The
I didn't.
content
What I
isn't the fact here.
No. I told you what I said. What I said was, no, I told you what I said. I told you that God's knowledge in the lower world, the knowledge that He's alone. The content is the fact that He's alone.
Oh, so
That's not me saying. Look, if you have a problem with me saying in general they're identical, I'm not going to say that. Fine, who cares? That's not the point. The point is you accept that for this case.
So the content is the fact that He's alone. So
You don't have
you
to type
said,
it down. It's in front of you.
no, because you rejected, but you said that when I said you've been saying that, dumbass.
No, you're confused. You don't even know what you're saying. Look.
The content, I'm saying the content isn't the fact that He's alone.
Okay. Yes, it is. Because again, when we're talking about the content of belief,
facts are not the same, dumbass.
no, again,
Again, and then you're gonna say, but you didn't.
Calm down. I'll tell you why. The fact. Yeah, calm down. Hey, calm down. I'll tell you why the fact that He's alone is the content. Because all we mean by content is what the belief represents. So that's all we mean. And here, what His knowledge represents, or His belief represents, is the fact that He's alone. So that's the content.
It is yeah, that's just not true.
What do you mean that's not true?
Wait, so what
Because I just told you that isn't, yeah, because I already told you fact, and look, if content here is going to be representing the thing known, right, then the thing known, right, the fact represents the thing known, in this case. So the representation.
What are you saying? Okay, listen.
I'm telling you what, you see what I'm saying, but every time I know what you're saying, and then you say you're not saying that, then I actually quote what you're saying, and you're like, oh yeah, that is what I'm saying. Or you don't get what I'm saying, then shut the hell up and stop talking about opposition.
Listen, shut your mouth, because you keep wasting time.
Talk about
you keep wasting time.
Shut the hell up.
You shut your mouth.
Oh, then shut the hell up.
Stop. Calm down. All right. By the way, all right. No. Let's do it like this so you can stop.
You don't know what
I'm not even stuttering. I don't even know why you're doing that. Calm down. Stop. No, I'm not. Listen.
No? Okay.
We can look. What if I phrase it like this?
I got.
Never stutter. Calm down. Listen.
If
we phrase it like this, that God's knowledge.
Like
you have the fact that you have the knowledge that He's alone, and here the content is He's alone. That's the content. Okay? We don't have to use the word fact, so we can stop playing those fucking stupid games. So the fact,
we don't have to use what? I'm asking you a question.
We can phrase it like this. I said we can phrase it like this. You have God's knowledge that He's alone, and the content is He's alone. That's the content. Okay? Now, the content here, He's alone, can that vary across possible worlds?
I already said no. I don't know why you're asking me the same question.
What do you mean no? Look, then He's necessarily alone.
If the content, what do you mean? Look, when we're talking about the content.
What do you mean?
I'm telling you.
Did you just concede? G1, I don't think you realize you just conceded again.
You just conceded. It's not a concession.
That is a concession.
Oh my goodness, bro! It's not a concession. Let me tell you why.
That'll be a concession.
It's not a concession. It's not a concession. Let me tell you why.
Another concession.
If the content is what the belief is about, right, and the content is going to be essential to the belief, right, then the God's belief about Him being alone, right, will not change, even if He's in a world which He isn't alone, because the belief about Him being alone is going to be indexed to the world in which He's alone.
Hey, listen. No, you're not following.
It's not going to change. It's not going to change, dumbass.
Hey, dumbass, listen. I'm not saying His belief changes. I'm saying the content does. You accept that.
Oh my goodness.
You accept that. You accept that because you believe in some worlds he's not alone. Yeah?
What the content is and all.
I've said that a million times.
Oh, okay, beautiful. So if the belief is about the content, right, and then I'm saying the content, right, doesn't change.
Well, then you're a necessitarian.
No, it doesn't mean I'm a necessary. Oh my god, you're collapsing. What's it called? What the content is about and the content itself. And the
What
reason
are
why
you
you're
even
collapsing is because
saying?
you believe
What
the
are you
content and
saying?
fact.
Listen,
I'm telling you, content and fact isn't the same thing.
No. Stop wasting my time.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Look, G1, do you believe in some worlds God is not alone and others he is alone?
Of course, I believe that. Yeah.
Okay. So he's alone. That changes across possible worlds, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now, in the alone
My belief
world,
about that changes.
wait, stop. We're almost there. Now, in the alone world, when he knows that he is alone, okay, you're saying that he is alone. You're saying that can change across possible worlds. The truth value can change, okay? But you're saying his knowledge of it.
Nope.
Wait, did you just say no?
No.
Are you okay?
The truth. Look.
Are you playing games?
I'm telling you.
I always waste time.
I'm telling you why. What do you mean? No, we're not saying the truth. The true value remains the same. Let me actually be more simplistic.
Look, then God is necessarily alone. Then he never creates.
No, the true value.
Yes.
The true value is going to remain the same if we're taking the proposition or statement to be what's it called, tenseless, right? But that doesn't mean. Shut the hell up, bro. Shut the hell up.
No, you're out of here. You're a waste of time. Can't believe what I'm hearing.
My bro. Farah's here, bro.
What's Farah gonna do?
I don't know. You might feel more comfortable, bro. Just bring him up.
What a waste of time this guy is, man.
Sola, he did the same shit he did with you and me, bro. He knows different things in different worlds type shit.
Look, it's simple as this, right? So we can have so is it the case that tenseless propositions?
No, you're not gonna ask me any questions. We're gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see how. We're gonna see if you're listening. Look, I'm gonna ask you. Look, because we went over this earlier. You said.
I'm not answering.
Well, then you're out of here. There you go. See ya. You're gone.
Usually, if I make progress with G1, I have to write everything down. Like he has to I think that's literally the only way, because I used to think it was, and now I'm not saying you should accept what I'm about to say, but we've all talked to G1 a lot, but I've talked to him as well a lot. I don't think it's always dishonest. I think that something happens where he really doesn't recall what he said. And I don't think it's.
Yeah, he's schizophrenic.
Yo, Dan, listen, we have multiple clips of this guy backtracking and changing his answers, and he still says that he didn't do such thing.
Yeah, I know. He does that to me too, but it used to be worse. But I think that to fix that, you have to write everything down, and then there's a potential for progress.
Look, I'm gonna give a case, right? So, for example, you can have tenseless propositions, right? And the true value remains the same. Can you shut the flip up, bro?
Sees across the Rubicon.
You're legit Michael's sidekick, bro. You're like Robin. Shut the hell up, bro.
Bro.
I'm talking to you. Shut the hell up.
Start trouble.
You're always doing ad-libs, bro. Like, this is not rap music.
By the way, this has nothing to do with the
Did
topic.
I pre?
Yeah. Shut the hell up, bro. I don't know.
Pre-sniped example.
Shut the hell up, bro. Just shut the hell up.
You see, he wants to do this thing where he just wants to waste time.
I'm not wasting time if you're.
Yes, you are. Look.
To me.
It's easy to get to the point, right?
Interrupt me.
Look, because you believe that God being alone. You believe that God being alone, the true value. Just come. I'll tell you.
You don't.
I'm going to tell you. Look, because you believe the true value of God being alone changes across past worlds, but in the alone world,
you don't.
Do you believe that?
I just told you I don't. Yeah, I don't believe that, and you don't know why I believe.
Okay.
Look, God knows. Look, we can say that.
Hey,
can you shut the hell up? You don't know why I believe.
Listen,
and you just ask me.
I'm gonna explain something to you. No,
if
you think that If you think the true value of God being alone doesn't change across past worlds, then if you're saying the fact that he's alone is true, then you're saying he's necessarily alone. What's so hard about that?
We're saying the true value of the propositions which God knows doesn't change from worlds to worlds.
What are you even
Right.
look?
I'm telling you what I'm saying. Shut the hell up. And I'm telling you what I'm
you see,
gonna
you're
say.
wasting time.
What the
You're
hell I'm
wasting
saying?
time
I'm
again.
telling you what I'm saying. Can you shut the hell up?
You're confused.
Please, but you interrupt me.
Yeah,
When I'm going to clarify what
that should be obvious. Like, I don't know why we're wasting
to be
time.
obvious, okay, so then why do you keep inviting me?
Why are you
then?
stuttering?
When you're getting
I
cooked.
thought you said I was
I'm not
stuttering.
stuttering. I'm not
You are.
stuttering. You're the
You
one
just
getting
did.
cooked. You're the one getting cooked.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not stuttering.
Yeah, I am. You're right.
Yeah. So shut the hell up.
What?
Right?
So the truth value doesn't change than this world God's alone, right? That proposition is true.
Yeah, just be like Hero-san, bro. That's what he said to
Yo,
me,
yo,
bro.
G1 is
Look,
God is
let
alone.
me
Wait.
explain. Look,
God
bro.
is alone in this world.
Let
Is that
me
proposition true or false?
explain. Let me explain. Oh my
It's true. God is alone in this world. Is that true or false proposition?
It's gonna be a false proposition because the proposition
You just
is
said,
tense.
you're going
Because
back
the
on your own.
proposition is tense. The
Bro,
proposition is tense. The proposition is tense, bro. Oh my
Wait,
God.
G1.
The
In
proposition
a
is
world,
tense.
in a world where he
The
did not create, does
proposition
he
is
know that he
tense.
created?
Look, you keep interrupting me. Oh my
Wait,
goodness, bro.
G1. No,
Can you
because
start
I
No, can you
haven't
shut
had a
that up?
chance.
Psychic number 3, start
Classical
interrupting me.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. Psychic
Can you start
number
interrupting me?
3.
I just
Psychic number
told
3 is
you.
not gonna shut up. But I haven't had a chance to talk all day, so let me ask you a
Okay, then
question.
talk to yourself.
In a world,
Go to Timur
in a
then.
world where he did not create,
Go
in
to
a world where he
Timur.
did not create, does he
Go
know
to
that he created?
Timur. Go to Timur.
G1, can you answer my question?
Yo,
I'm
Shake,
not
you
gonna
ought to be
answer that
action part
question.
two.
Yo, G1,
I'm not gonna
can you
answer that
answer the
question.
question of sidekick number 3, please?
Oh, so you recognize your psychic? That's good, bro.
Wait,
What's the
look,
question?
G1,
one second.
can you answer?
Let's have like a
Can you
faithful
guys stop
dialogue. Let's
interrupting
have
me?
an actual
Look, you
You're
asked me.
able
No,
to have a good faith dialogue
Oma.
with G1.
You asked me. Right. When we look at this
Go
world,
ahead.
right, there's the true value regarding to the proposition, which I believe is going to be true or false. I said false, right, because the proposition is going to be tensed, right? So there's going to be two sets of propositions. There's going to be tenseless propositions and they're going to be tensed propositions. When we talk about the changing of true values, that's going to be stated of tensed propositions, not tenseless propositions.
This is completely
Okay, so this guy, look, 1 second, Michael, let me respond. Michael, let me respond to this shit. Michael, let me respond to this shit.
No,
Are you
bro,
finished?
you don't even have. It's completely irrelevant.
Wait, Michael, just trust me, bro. Michael, just trust me. Michael, trust me, bro. I can respond to this. Yeah, one second. Yeah,
Respond to
G1.
what? I've even finished.
Okay, yeah, G1, go ahead, Joe. That's what I'm telling you. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm saying that when we look at tense propositions, their true value can change. Tenseless propositions, the true value cannot change, right? But if we talk about